Could Jameson Williams end up in Kansas City? We'll talk about that possibility coming up on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Before we do that, though, we are still in the midst of a sub-battle with our fellow AFC West channels, and it is coming down to the wire in the lead-up to the draft. As you can see, the Raiders report with a slight lead. Broncos breakdown also ahead of us as well. Folks, we need to put the pedal to the metal and win this sub-battle for the latest happenings around your Kansas City Chiefs during the draft. We'll be live for it as well as the rest of the offseason. You got to be subscribed to the channel. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV, and we'll get started with today's show. Could Jameson Williams end up in Kansas City? Last Word on Sports has named the Chiefs as a top trade destination for the Detroit Lions wide receiver. And you may be thinking, like I am here, this is out of left field. Huh? First off, want to trade him and the Chiefs? Where does this add up? Well, let's provide some context. This is where I come in. New reports out this week. The Lions are looking at potentially trading Williams and moving on from him after 3 seasons in Detroit. Detroit's general manager this past week made it no secret that they would love to bring in some competition to the wide receiver room. They like the guys that they have, but they would like some younger bodies and to have more pieces to potentially compete to strengthen that group. And with that being said, one of the reasons why that Williams could be on the block, according to more reports that are out there, the Lions have their eyes set on potentially drafting Matthew Golden, the wide receiver out of the University of Texas, that he is one of their favorite prospects in this year's draft. Now, we'll see if he's available when the Lions pick. Maybe they have to trade up potentially to get him, but if they bring in Golden, then Williams could be the odd man out in that scenario. So here's more from Last Word on Sports where the Chiefs come in. It's a weird situation for the Kansas City Chiefs. Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice will only thrive as long as they can stay out of trouble. Meanwhile, veteran Marquise Brown is in for 1 year to try to win a Super Bowl this season. After losing DeAndre Hopkins, the team could use a guy like Williams who has the same body type as Rice and Worthy. I don't hate this idea to bring in Jameson Williams. He is still very young, in his early 20s. His track record, we can only really point to one strong year that he's had, and that was this past season. And so then that begs the question of, was 2024 the start of a trend in the right direction, or was it an anomaly? And we don't have a solid answer one way or the other for you. But the good news for Kansas City, because there's only one good year of tape from Williams, and he's dealt with injuries and all that too, that means that the former first-round pick's trade value shouldn't be that high, all things considered. I think you can potentially pull this off by giving up your third-round pick at 66 overall and bring in a former first-round wide receiver in Williams who would come in immediately and make this wide receiver room feel a lot better. And the truth of the matter, Williams is probably better than almost every receiver that would be available to you to select in the third round anyway. So, our pinned comment today, your chance to be Brett Veach. Should the Chiefs draft, or trade rather, for Jameson Williams? Type Y for yes, in for no. Chime in on our pinned comment today. Let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by GameTime. GameTime is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. GameTime makes getting tickets faster and easier, even for hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the GameTime app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices used from your seat and their lowest price guarantee. GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. I'm planning to head to Oklahoma City to go watch the Thunder in the playoffs, but maybe you can't make it out to OKC, and you want to see an event right here in Kansas City, whether it's the Royals, Sporting KC, the Current, whatever it may be. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seat, see if you like that seat or not, and then boom, just like that, you're checking out on Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. GameTime is the official ticketing partner of the Chiefs Report. where their last-minute deals can save you up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater productions, and more. GameTime Picks makes last-minute ticket buying easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. They have their zone deals where you can save even more when you choose a section and let GameTime choose the seats. They offer all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Their seat views allow you to get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price is guaranteed, or GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the GameTime app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. GameTime, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. More on Williams, a former first-round pick out of Alabama in 2020, and had a really good season in 2024. Career highs in catches, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. And I feel like we're just seeing the beginning of Jameson Williams. He's only played in 33 games with 21 starts, and he was quite the special teams player in college. He hasn't been used in that same way in the NFL. But here's what we're talking about statistically of this year standing out among the rest. You can see he played in 12 games in 2023, but only had 24 catches and 354 yards. Took a big jump this year with 58 catches, over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, and over 17 yards a reception. Now, it is worth noting there are some off-the-field issues that come with Williams as well, which should be no stranger to this receiver room with the things that have gone on with Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. I don't need to rehash those things. You already know. Williams was suspended at one point in his career for performance-enhancing drugs, so that's not great that he's got a history of being a druggie. But maybe he's learned from that, and hopefully it won't happen again. One of the things I do like about his performance on the field is that he does have impressive deep ball skills. And that is something that we have not seen a whole lot of in the Chiefs offense since the departure of Tyreek Hill. That's been a missing piece. Part of it does have to do with defenses playing 3 high safeties and taking that away from the Chiefs offense where they don't want Patrick Mahomes to beat you deep. You could argue that Xavier Worthy is a guy that was made for that, and we did see him have some deep receiving touchdowns, but Williams would be your best threat if you added him to stretch the field vertically in that sense. Bottom line, I think we all know the Chiefs are going to add a receiver sometime here soon. But they have to decide how they will add said receiver. Do they feel more comfortable going younger and going in the draft and bringing somebody in that they've done their homework on and starting the rookie contract from scratch? Or are they better off going with a veteran like Williams here and seeing what he brings to the table? That's the decision that they have to potentially make. So how should the Chiefs add a receiver? Should it be through a trade or should it be through the draft? Which way do you lean towards? Type T for trade, D for draft. Bottom line, you can't stand pat. This receiving corps, I think it's solid with the guys that you have there. But you're in a situation where the fact of the matter is it's not good enough. It's good, but it's not great. For what you are trying to do with Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs offense and trying to compete with some of these high-powered offenses in the AFC like Buffalo, Baltimore, Cincinnati, and others, you need to keep up with the Joneses, pun intended. And right now you don't have that because you have too many question marks. I don't think anyone here is questioning the talent level of Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown and all that. What we are questioning is the other things. You look at Rashee Rice coming off an injury, suspension potentially coming. Suspension potentially coming for Xavier Worthy. Hollywood Brown with his share of injury issues. Juju Smith-Schuster with his share of injury issues. You need more if you're going to feel fully comfortable and confident heading into 2025. Even with I think the slow start that Williams had to his career and the PED suspension and all that, I think he's worth taking a chance if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. And another thing I would add, let's say you give up a third-round pick, you're likely not going to find a receiver in the third round better than Jameson Williams. It's highly unlikely if that's the case. So I like the idea. We'll see if it happens or not. We'll continue to follow it here on the channel. For continuing Chiefs offseason coverage, subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.